Hi, it's me, it's Darlene, and welcome to Tinge of Bravery. We are on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, and occasionally Instagram. So if you're tuning in for the first time, I record all that kind of goes on in my life in hopes that it might help somebody else. I am a single mom, raising 3 girls. My ex, the girl's dad, passed away in 2018. And this is just kind of like telling a lot about everything that I've gone through ever since and even before, and kind of what's gotten me to this point of just really trusting God with my life, and how if I didn't do that, I'm not sure how I would ever be able to cope. So today I want to talk a little bit about a couple of things, because earlier today, and once again, you'll hear some repeat stuff if you've heard this before, or this isn't the first time you tune in, but as usual, I'm on my drive to a ball game, or we were coming home, and I was just feeling the emotions. I was so upset because I sometimes just feel that all I'm doing is just making the drive. I'm there for the drive. I'm there just to feed, to make sure there's water, to just make sure that there's sunscreen, that girls get fed after, that we get coffee. I know, some moms might say, well, that's what you're supposed to do. But I know there's moms out there that can totally relate to this. Like for me personally, the reason why it was just really resonating with me and making me feel just frustrated, because, I try to have conversations with my girls and I get a lot of one-worded answers like, no, fine, it's okay. And then when they're going through something, they might turn to someone else, for the conversation. And, I don't consider myself someone that, can't be spoken to. There was a time in my life, like throughout the divorce and before and everything, where, I was not the kind of person that you could talk to, because I was just so opinionated. And all I wanted to do was just kind of give my point of view and get people to accept it. And that was it. And I know that was really hard for the girls. Granted, at the time, that everything was going on, they ranged from ages like 9 through 13 and 14. And so, it was just kind of like the start of, the time in their life when, they don't have a lot to talk about. And so I guess if there was ever a time where I was really screwing up as far as my conversation and communication went with my daughters, that was probably it. But it did kind of set the precedent to, oh, what kind of mood is mom going to be in today? And, a lot of that had to do with, obviously, myself being hurt, being frustrated, being resentful, being tired, just absolutely overwhelmed with the divorce. And above all, I was drinking a lot. It's something that I'll probably go into at some point in time, but I just want to kind of make the point that, when I was drinking a lot, it just made me into the person that I absolutely don't want to be. And that is the person that just felt like, I had to have the last word and I could say anything. And that is not the friend, the mom, the sister, the person that runs a shop now wants to be. And I tell a lot of people, hey, if you would have met me, 5 years ago, you would not have recognized me. So anyway, that was a long explanation to what, I was talking about my frustrations today. Like, yeah, I do all these things for my girls, but, they are 14, 17, and 19 now, and, they go through stuff. And, I want to be there for them. I want to have, just conversations with them. And I really can with my oldest. We've had our share of issues where, she's very opinionated herself. She's very strong-willed. And so, of course, we kind of clash, at times. But you know, for the most part, she's definitely one that, you know, I think I said this before in my video of, you know, the Dear CW video where, you know, I can go to her, you know, I can have conversations. But today in particular, she's kind of going through something, and, you know, she was super quiet, and I noticed that she was texting with a friend, and, you know, I was just a big baby about it because, you know, I've just had this recent conversation with my daughters of how, you know, hey, you know, I want to be the one, trust me, you know, I do know stuff. I've lived, you know, how many years and have gone through so much. You know, I want to be the one that you talk to. And if you don't talk to me about, you know, some of the hard stuff, you know, talk to me about simple things. You know, my youngest is so hard to talk to. I love her so much, and her spark that she has for everything she does, and she's just always smiling. But man, you know, when that girl is in her mood, or she's just gotten through with a practice or a game, there's no talking to her. She's just one that she wants to eat, she wants to rest, and hey, you know, I get it, but even on the way, I just haven't figured it out. And, you know, sometimes as a mom, it just makes you feel like, you know, is this all there is? I mean, you're just kind of running your kids back and forth, and you don't get those opportunities to have deep conversations with them. And, you know, I don't mean like, you know, super, you know, deep psychological, physiology, whatever kind of conversations. I don't mean like that. You know, I just want to have simple conversations, and I get frustrated when I just feel like, you know, they don't come to me. And it's not all the time, but, you know, I guess just some days are like that, and I really hope there's some of you that can totally relate to this. You know, it's hitting me hard because I'm kind of like that at the shop too. Like, you know, so many of the team just goes to my business partner, and, you know, he just answers everything. And, you know, it is super hard for me to talk about this. I'm just going to be honest because, you know, I know there's going to be a lot of opinions about, you know, the fact that, you know, I probably am only there, you know, 40% to his 60%. And there's many hours where we're there together. And, you know, he and I have talked about how, you know, he does have to literally answer everything. And it frustrates me because, you know, even if I don't know the answer, you know, let's face it, we want to be needed. We want to be wanted. We want, you know, young kids to come to us. Regardless if our answer is right or wrong, we at least want to have that discussion and, you know, talk to. And then, you know, let's figure it out together. I'm the kind of person who, if I don't know the answer, you know, I want to learn. And I want the young women and men, you know, that work at the shop, I want them to feel that way too. Like, I don't want to just give them the answer. I don't want to have it just there. I want them to really consider and ponder it. And so, you know, that's just the kind of person I am. And yeah, I guess I'm just kind of going through something where, you know, I don't feel like, I just don't feel like I'm needed. Is that the right sentiment? You know, I know that I am. I know I am, and I know I contribute, but, you know, let's be honest. I'm going through this. I know there's some of you out there that go through this too, where you just feel like you're just kind of going through the motions, and you're not sure that, you know, of your purpose when, you know, you have kids or you have a business. And how am I making sense? I guess this is true feelings and emotions that I'm exhibiting right here and now, and it's just what I have felt, you know, lately, off and on. And so it just kind of hit me hard today. And as I was driving back, you know, my girls were super quiet, and, you know, the only thing we talked about was, okay, you know, where do we want to grab something to eat and, you know, get home, and that was it. So, you know, I didn't get upset with the girls, but, you know, that's the other thing too. I want to ask you guys, are you comfortable getting upset in front of your kids? Like, I mean, I have before, but I think the times that I have gotten upset, it was during these days, once again, where it was just ridiculous upset, where it wasn't thought out properly. Like, I would just kind of like drop the F-bomb. I would say just screw it or whatever, and I would just spout things off. And hey, you know what? Learn from me that when that kind of stuff happens, it takes a while to get back and earn your respect. And granted, you know, it's been a while since I flew off the handle or, you know, spouted off, you know, curse words. You know, I've worked really hard to change my demeanor. But I'm telling you what, that when you do those kind of things with your kids, with your family, with, you know, anyone else that is within your circle, you know, it's hard to regain the desire that you want to be heard. I think I've done an okay job. I really do. But where I was going with this is, you know, it's hard for me sometimes to get mad because, you know, I know the girls have seen me mad, and the mad that I was is not the person that I was. I was mad out of a particular time when I was not myself. So when I get mad now, I just hope I'm getting angry the right way. Okay? Like, do you think about that? Do you think about, okay, I'm mad, I feel upset, so how do I express it? And it's a work in progress. So, you know, as I was feeling that frustration today, I had to really stop and think, how do I want to express myself to let my girls know that I feel upset, I feel hurt, but at the same time, I'm going to get over it. You know, I'll tell you, there's triggers. And my trigger today wasn't just that my daughter was going through something and she went to someone else, but it was, I'm like coming at you with a lot of things, but hey, you know, this is life, and it really does all connect. What it was is she had posted a TikTok and it showed a picture of me, and I was so freaking uncomfortable with my appearance today. Hey, you know, this just exasperates it. And guess what? You know what? That's no fault of hers. She didn't know that. She didn't know that I was feeling, you know, inadequate about, hang on one second, I'm recording. And that was her. She didn't know that I was feeling that. And that's part of communication. And God, I'm so glad that I was comfortable to just tell her to hang on a second, because usually I just stop the recording because I get so freaking nervous about my daughters, you know, barging in, because it takes me just this insurmountable amount of bravery and courage, hence, you know, the reason for my podcast or whatever. But anyway, she didn't know that I was feeling this insecurity about myself. So when I saw that picture of me, oh, it carried over into feeling like, who am I? Why aren't my girls talking to me? And now look how I look, and they're laughing about it. And God, you know what? Mothering is hard. parenting is hard. And I think it's just freaking twice as hard when you are a single parent and there literally is not another parent out there, because you feel it all. And when I get those feelings and I'm feeling all of it, then all of a sudden I think of the girl's dad, and it's like, where the hell is he at a time like this? I want to share this humiliation. I want to share this anger. I want to share this frustration. You know, on top of that, I'm telling you, it all comes at once. I'm sitting at the ball fields and I'm looking at the dads, and I'm looking at one dad who's wearing this boom ball shirt that, you know, the girl's dad always used to wear. And the first thing that goes through my mind is, God, he used to wear those. He's not here. He would be in there helping to coach. That's what goes through my mind. And hey, girl's dad, if you're listening, it's hard. So I'm feeling all this. I'm not trying to ask anybody to feel sorry for me. That's not what it's about. I'm just trying to relate to the crowd out there that hears me, that parenting is hard. Trying to maintain your connection with your kids is hard. Maintaining your health is hard when you're running everywhere. Sometimes when you look at yourself in the mirror, you get upset. Okay? Be honest. You just do. And what do? You do 316 squats or bicycles, sit-ups, crunches. That's what I did in the hotel last night. We were in a hotel last night, and I didn't do 300 of each. I just said to myself, I'm going to freaking do 300 of something total. And I did. And I was sore this morning. And, you know, that's combating. That is handling it the best that you can. It doesn't mean that you're not going to have these emotions. You still are going to have the emotions. But that's what you do to combat it, and you pray and you give it to God, and you just ask him to tell you, how do you want me to handle this? What do you want me to do? What do you want me to know? And, you know, all those frustrations, they've come out. And before I go into 20 minutes, I want to tell you that, you know, as I expressed myself to my girls on the drive home of how frustrated I felt over the picture of me, over them not talking to me, you know, I think I did it in a way that let them know I was upset, but I didn't carry it on for once. Usually I can't stop talking, but I just let them know how I felt. And how I just want them to at least let me know, hey, I'm not ready to talk, but I might later. And my oldest daughter got it. And I think all three of them got it, because then when we got home, I'm changing into my work clothes that you see me in now. And all three of them come up to my bedroom. And, you know, in their own way, they just kind of start having conversation with me. And they just sit, or they lay on my bed in their dirty clothes. So I guess that's a win. I guess it's a win, CW, if you're listening. Frustrations don't go away. Emotions, feelings, they don't go away. But guess what? We can give it to God, and we can learn how to talk, and we can learn how to communicate, and we can learn how to express our anger better. And we can also learn how to take care of ourselves. So I came home and got in the yard, where, you know, hey, I don't always have the time to exercise, but getting in the yard and, you know, lifting rocks and putting them in the creek bed is just one way of doing it too. And hey, guess what? You can release emotions that way and frustrations. So anyway, it's going on almost 20 minutes, and I'm going to keep it at that. I thank you for tuning in. Definitely please subscribe and share. God bless you all. Ask God to come into your heart, because I'm telling you what, there's just no other way to handle things. You can do it so much better. You can handle the frustrations and the emotions so much better when you can just you can give it to God. So that's it. I gotta go change where the sprinkler is, and then get inside and shower super good because I'm afraid I was near poison ivy, and then spend the rest of the evening with my girls and thank God for so much. And I hope you do too. And I hope I relate it. Please reach out to me. Let me know your thoughts, any questions. God bless y'all. Take care. See ya.